When Xiao Chen witnessed Lu Ruyu's worry, he grasped her hands and reassured her, stating, "Do not fret. Sima Lingshan is surely no match for me at this stage. In 7 days, the Supreme Sky Sect's martial sage will arrive." "That's correct." Xiao Chen recollected something and extracted 10 inferior-grade spirit-gathering pearls from his universe ring, offering them to Lu Ruyu. He said, "You have already reached the half-step martial monarch stage. You can utilize these spirit-gathering pearls when you break through to martial monarch." Observing Xiao Chen's strong self-assurance as he spoke, Lu Ruyu opted not to comment further on the matter. However, she declined the spirit-gathering pearls. A graceful expression adorned her beautiful face as she bestowed him with a faint smile. She said, "There is no need. I should encounter no difficulties in reaching the martial monarch stage, it is merely a matter of time. The spirit-gathering pearls would likely be highly valuable in the Kunlun realm. You should keep them for yourself." Upon mentioning the Kunlun realm, Xiao Chen displayed a hint of sorrow. He had to journey to the Kunlun realm, but once he departed, it would be arduous for him to return before becoming a martial emperor. He remained uncertain when he would be able to reunite with Lu Ruyu after parting ways. She was currently in her prime, possessing extraordinary beauty and youthfulness. This was the prime time in a woman's life. After Lu Ruyu had given herself to Xiao Chen, they might never meet again. The bitterness he felt regarding this situation was beyond words. Lu Ruyu discerned Xiao Chen's thoughts. She sweetly smiled, akin to a garden of blooming flowers. Gently holding Xiao Chen's right hand, she softly spoke, "You need not worry too much about me. Ever since our first encounter, I knew that this humble Qingyan peak would be unable to confine you. The reason you are in seclusion here is solely for the purpose of soaring higher. To me, the higher you ascend, the more joyous I will be. All I ask is for you not to forget Qingyan Peak and the Lu Ruyu who will patiently await your return." Tender emotions stirred in Xiao Chen's heart. He spoke slowly, enunciating each word, "I will forever remember you in this lifetime. I will undoubtedly become a martial emperor in the Kunlun realm and come back here." The two exchanged glances, conveying unspoken sentiments. In the remaining days, Xiao Chen did not cultivate diligently. Sima Lingshan had long been no match for him. Even if he reached the martial monarch realm, challenging Sima Lingshan would only be a humiliation. During this time, Xiao Chen gathered some materials for refining pills. In the alchemy section of the cultivation compendium, there was a recipe for the countenance-preserving pill. It would maintain a girl's appearance for 1,000 years. This alchemical recipe was quite complex and required numerous ingredients. Xiao Chen planned to complete the refinement of this pill within the remaining time of the half-year and give it to Lu Ruyu. 6 days passed by swiftly. On this day, while Xiao Chen was tallying the ingredients he had collected for the countenance-preserving pill, he sensed a powerful aura rapidly approaching the Heavenly Saber Pavilion without any restraint. "Xiao Chen, come out and fight, quickly!" A voice thundered, resounding in all directions. It reverberated throughout the entire Lingyun mountain range, startling all the disciples of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion. With deliberate control from the other party, the sound waves propagated even farther when the voice echoed. All the cultivators within a radius of 250 kilometers heard this shout. Who was Xiao Chen? He was the champion of the recent 5-nation youth competition, the strongest among the younger generation, worthy of being called a genius of the king-grade true dragon. Unexpectedly, someone arrived and challenged Xiao Chen. Various busybodies immediately became intrigued. Many figures flew up and headed towards the Heavenly Saber Pavilion. Upon hearing Sima Hong's voice, the elders of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion all wore unpleasant expressions. The martial sage of the Supreme Sky Sect would arrive at the earliest tomorrow. No one had anticipated Sima Hong's early arrival at the Heavenly Saber Pavilion, and they were not mentally prepared for it. Boom, boom, boom. Sima Hong casually shattered the restrictions at the mountain entrance. In an instant, he appeared at the heaven viewing platform, carrying Sima Lingshan, who was dressed similarly to him. Xiao Chen gathered the pill ingredients and jumped out of the window. He rode on the Azure Dragon image and arrived at a location 1 kilometer away from the two. Glancing over, he confirmed that Sima Lingshan had indeed advanced to the level of a martial monarch. His aura was unleashed, rivaling that of a peak inferior grade martial monarch. Xiao Chen, you know what to do without me having to say it. If you don't lose, this heavenly saber pavilion will be destroyed because of you, Sima Hong coldly stated, projecting his voice towards Xiao Chen. Ignoring Sima Hong, Xiao Chen locked eyes with Sima Lingshan. There are too many people here. Come with me. Let's go to the heaven ascending platform to fight. Sima Hong watched as Xiao Chen left and smiled coldly to himself. You better understand what's in your best interest. After you ruined the luck of my Sima clan for the next 500 years, I won't hesitate to bring down the heavenly saber pavilion with me. Father, I'm going, Sima Lingshan said to Sima Hong after taking a deep breath. Collecting his thoughts, Sima Hong faintly smiled and said, don't worry. Now that you've advanced to the level of a martial monarch, the knowledge you gained in the martial king realm will unleash 10 times the combat prowess. You will surely emerge victorious in this contest, reclaiming the king grade true dragon's fortune. You will have the opportunity to enter the Kunlun realm in the most optimal state. Because of you, the Sima clan will remain upright and unyielding. Sima Lingshan exuded a strong sense of self-assurance as he nodded resolutely. Just wait for my positive update. Sima Lingshan's figure flickered continuously in the air, pursuing Xiao Chen to the expansive training ground in the heaven ascending platform. Whoosh, whoosh. The two landed on the training ground one after the other, taking up positions in opposite corners, facing each other. The tall buildings of the heaven ascending platform were already filled with disciples from the heavenly saber pavilion. Many of them had never witnessed Xiao Chen's combat prowess, nor were they aware of Sima Hong's pressure on him. The spectators' eyes gleamed with excitement and anticipation, hoping to see Xiao Chen display his strength and once again defeat the genius swordsman from the great Jin nation. Senior brother Xiao Chen, give it your all. Since his father was so disrespectful, teach his son a lesson. Make him leave in disgrace. That's right. Make him leave in disgrace. Make him leave in disgrace. Make him leave in disgrace. In an instant, the entire mountain range echoed with these words. The collective voices caused the air to tremble. At this moment, all the disciples of the heavenly saber pavilion idolized Xiao Chen. When Sima Hong called out Xiao Chen, the blood of all the disciples boiled. Regardless of whether one was a martial sage or not, this was the heavenly saber pavilion, the heavenly saber pavilion of the great Qin nation, Xiao Chen's home ground. If they didn't cheer for Xiao Chen and protect his reputation, then who would? Sima Lingshan's expression darkened. Even though he had only achieved third place in the True Dragon ranking, no one in the great Jin nation dared to speak about him in such a manner. He had never experienced such humiliation. Boom. Having advanced to the martial monarch realm, Sima Lingshan released his powerful aura and unleashed the anger within his heart. A strong wind blew incessantly, and the clouds churned without pause. The blade in Sima Lingshan's grasp vibrated as he infused it with essence. He aimed it towards Xiao Chen, and a blade energy formed from essence burst forth, causing rifts in space. Even before Sima Lingshan launched his attack, he showcased immense power. Several of the supreme elders from the heavenly saber pavilion felt trepidation in their hearts upon witnessing this exhibition. Merely based on the might that Sima Lingshan displayed, a few of the lower-ranked martial monarchs among them would not be able to match him. Even some of the middle-ranked martial monarchs would have no more than a 60% chance of winning. No one here had witnessed Xiao Chen's combat abilities since he reached the status of martial monarch, so they couldn't help but feel concerned for him. Sima Lingshan said icily, Xiao Chen, the level of my achievements in the martial king realm is beyond your imagination. In the past, you defeated me in 10 moves. Today, I will only need 1 move. Xiao Chen smiled faintly and replied nonchalantly, you've misunderstood. It wasn't that you forced me to use 10 moves to defeat you. Rather, I chose to defeat you in 10 moves. If I truly wanted to defeat you quickly, I wouldn't need 10 moves. Let's see if you have the capabilities to make such claims. The divine will is with me, I reign supreme. King's sword. Sima Lingshan soared into the sky, causing a storm to surge behind him. The surroundings changed, revealing a scene of battles, armies clashing, and dynasties at war. Then, Sima Lingshan emerged as the chosen one, putting an end to these conflicts and holding the divine will. The name of the Sword King echoed throughout. He utilized the power of a dynasty, infusing it into his sword, to fight against Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen felt surprised. No wonder Sima Lingshan was so confident this time. His understanding of kingship had reached a higher level. Not only did his previous defeat not hinder his progress, it even propelled him further. However, that was not sufficient. A dynasty would eventually decline. A true king wouldn't rely on the power of a dynasty, for he himself was the unrivaled king. Why would he need to depend on external power? Under normal circumstances, Xiao Chen would have been interested in engaging in a 100-move battle with his opponent. After all, Sima Lingshan had some unique insights. Fighting against such an opponent would always be beneficial for Xiao Chen. However, the current situation was different. There was an even more formidable Sima Hong standing behind Sima Lingshan. Xiao Chen had never considered the possibility of surrendering without a fight. A true dragon of the king grade wouldn't bow down due to fear. If Sima Hong wanted to bury the heavenly saber pavilion, Xiao Chen would even sacrifice his life to make things difficult for Sima Hong, to teach him the meaning of regret. Xiao Chen made his decision, and his gaze flickered, one violet and one ivory, like the radiant gleam of celestial bodies. Swoosh, swoosh. The origin flame of the violet thunder true fire and the origin flame of the lunar true fire soared out. In an instant, they pursued each other like a pair of fish. The spiritual energy in Xiao Chen's mind depleted continuously. Once the Taiji diagram took shape, Xiao Chen thrust his right hand forward, bellowing fiercely, Taiji Yin-Yang flame diagram. The yin and yang flames melded into a flawless Taiji diagram. They interacted with each other, generating an immensely chaotic force. No matter what heavenly decree one possessed, materializing the authority of a dynasty, the yin-yang was eternal, shattering everything with its might. The yin and yang flames unexpectedly merged. How did he conceive of this? How did he accomplish it? Zhang Kai and the other elders were all astounded. That diagram. What is that diagram? Why have I never laid eyes on it before? Yin and yang, two opposing energies of extreme attributes, can actually merge through such a mysterious method. The people of the Tianwu continent had never witnessed the Taiji diagram before. This spectacle broadened the perspectives of Shen Manjin and the others, causing them to delve into profound contemplation. Boom, boom, boom. The Taiji Yin-Yang flame diagram moved at an incredibly swift pace. Before absolute power, the profound phenomenon of Sima Lingshan's sword technique completely veered off course. The new dynasty that Sima Lingshan's royal aura had formed crumbled in the flames of battle. Wretched cries resounded throughout the land, smoke billowed in every direction. In this moment, the royal aura floundered. Tai Si. The Taiji Yin-Yang flame diagram collided with Sima Lingshan. The powerful forces erupted, and he immediately spewed a substantial amount of blood. He lost control of his body and was sent hurtling backwards. That strength greatly exceeded what the spectators anticipated. As soon as it detonated, the shockwaves dispersed the entire sky. The terrifying power forcefully propelled Sima Lingshan off the heaven-ascending platform. Sima Lingshan tumbled continuously down the side of the celestial ascending platform. The trees and stones pierced his body in multiple places, presenting a gruesome sight. Sima Lingshan's internal injuries were even more severe than his external injuries. The violet thunder true fire and lunar authentic flame burned his internal organs. The essence from his dantian offered no protection as the flames attacked it as well. When the various disciples of the heavenly saber pavilion in the buildings of the celestial ascending platform witnessed this scene, they were unable to react. These disciples had not anticipated the match to end so quickly. Furthermore, they had not expected the final words to come true. Sima Lingshan truly ended up rolling down in a pitiful state. He won. Senior brother Xiao Chen actually won. With just one move, senior brother Xiao Chen managed to send Sima Lingshan flying. How formidable. I couldn't have imagined it before. Ha, ha, ha. He got what he deserved. This is fantastic. Let's see if they dare to come to our heavenly saber pavilion and show off their strength again. Only after a long time did the crowd erupt in thunderous cheers. They shouted continuously as their gazes towards Xiao Chen became even more respectful, filled with admiration. Such an outstanding individual was a disciple of their heavenly saber pavilion. This connection instilled a sense of pride in their hearts that was difficult to erase. In the future, all they would have to say was, Xiao Chen is my senior brother. I have even witnessed his battle in person. The disciples of other sects in the great Qin nation would surely be envious. Xiao Chen, you really dared to take action. The rage within Sima Hong's heart was indescribable. He had not anticipated that Xiao Chen would dare to defeat Sima Lingshan in front of him. Furthermore, Xiao Chen had decisively defeated Sima Lingshan in one move. Even if Sima Hong wanted to intervene and salvage the situation, it was already too late. Sima Hong was a genuine martial sage. In the Tianwu continent, he was one of those who stood at the pinnacle. To him, Xiao Chen was like an ant. He could easily crush Xiao Chen to death. However, Sima Hong received a resounding slap from such a minuscule creature. Moreover, this slap was powerful. He could not forget this, he could never forgive this. If he did not eliminate Xiao Chen, he would not be able to release this anger. A sword materialized in Sima Hong's grasp. It moved swiftly through the air as if it teleported. Then, he unleashed a quintessence sword qi infused with the natural law towards Xiao Chen. It's over. Sima Hong unexpectedly disregards his status and attacks a junior. The elders of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion turned pale. Panic filled their hearts. How could Xiao Chen, who was much weaker, stand a chance against the enraged martial sage's attack? The sword qi unleashed by Sima Hong appeared ordinary, devoid of any embellishments. Even a medial-grade martial monarch could release a sword qi capable of tearing through space. However, this sword qi, a sword qi unleashed by a martial sage, did not tear through space. It did not even create a small rift. This sight evoked an unimaginable feeling. The sword qi was slender and elongated, emitting a dazzling light. It seemed to glide along a unique trajectory of the heavens and earth. As it approached Xiao Chen, the sword qi's light grew increasingly solid. With the support of the natural law, the sword light appeared flawless. The power of the saber qi increased significantly with each passing second. Xiao Chen's expression darkened. He dared not be sluggish. He swiftly raised his left hand, and the Taiji yin-yang flame diagram soared up to shield him. Xiao Chen infused the vast and surging mental energy from his mind into the Taiji yin-yang flame diagram. Instantly, the perfect diagram burst forth with radiant, dazzling light. Yin-yang, 4 divisions, and the 8 trigrams manifested around the Taiji yin-yang flame diagram. As Xiao Chen stood his ground, it felt as if he had merged with the world. Bang! The enraged sword qi unleashed by Sima Hong collided with the Taiji diagram. The Taiji yin-yang flame diagram immediately exploded, and a horrifying energy radiated in all directions. The expansive drill ground shattered, sending countless rocks soaring into the sky. Strong winds blew, stirring up clouds of dust. Amidst the dust, the sword qi soared back towards Sima Hong, who was charging towards it, at an even greater speed. Darn! Sima Hong's expression changed slightly. He held his sword in front of him and used thick quintessence to protect him. Another sound, even more terrifying than the one before this, rang out. Dust filled the place again. A never-ending hole could be seen expanding rapidly. The buildings of the entire heaven ascending platform started to crumble. Using the time this sword qi bought him, Xiao Chen moved. He stood on the image of an azure dragon and soared into the sky. His complexion turned pale, and blood leaked out of his mouth. Xiao Chen's condition looked very bad. Only his eyes glowed with health and vigor, not showing any signs of collapse. Earlier, right when the sword qi containing the natural law shattered the Taiji yin-yang flame diagram, the remaining force struck Xiao Chen's body, breaking through his quintessence. He could not block the sword qi, it was much more powerful than Xiao Chen's quintessence. The shock wave severely injured all his internal organs. If Xiao Chen did not have a strong body, his meridians and internal organs would have shattered after experiencing such an attack, killing him on the spot. He is not dead yet. When the Supreme Elders of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion saw Xiao Chen leap out of the dust, they revealed expressions of pleasant surprise. A martial sage already understood the natural law, albeit not by much. However, if they could infuse just a trace of it into their quintessence, it would amplify the might of their quintessence several times over. Given Xiao Chen's cultivation realm, it was unexpected that he could endure this attack. Furthermore, he looked like he could still fight and was not on the brink of death. Shen Manjin's face sank as she said, Xiao Chen cannot fall here. The Heavenly Saber Pavilion's luck has already intertwined with Xiao Chen's. If he dies, so will the Heavenly Saber Pavilion. Zhang Kai, on my orders, immediately gather the Divine Saber camp. Activate the entire sect and fight against Sima Hong. We absolutely cannot let Xiao Chen die here. Zhang Kai did not hesitate to say, I obey, Master. After Zhang Kai acknowledged Shen Manjin's command, she soared into the sky. Moving swiftly, she landed in front of Xiao Chen with a gloomy expression and protected him. All her essence surged out wildly. Sima Hong, how long have you been alive? Do you not care about your reputation at all? To think you attacked someone younger than you, Shen Manjin said without any emotion. Sima Hong roared, and a powerful gust of wind blew, clearing away all the dust and revealing the worn-out training ground. Gazing at Shen Manjin, Sima Hong said coldly, leave. I despise people who show me disrespect after I have shown them respect. I already mentioned 6 days ago that as long as he loses to Lingshan, everything will be fine. Today, this youngster still doesn't know what's good for him. So don't blame me for being ruthless and merciless. When the cultivators around the heavenly ascending platform from different places heard what Sima Hong said, their expressions changed drastically. Surprisingly, Sima Hong didn't care about his reputation. He attempted to intimidate Xiao Chen into pretending to lose. This behavior was simply too disgraceful. Shen Manjin said, do you understand the consequences of killing someone in my Heavenly Saber Pavilion? Sima Hong burst into laughter. What does the Heavenly Saber Pavilion amount to? You really think you're one of the top 10 sects? I have never cared about you. Since you're not leaving, I will kill you first. Swoosh, swoosh. Sima Hong unleashed 2 sword chi from his sword light. The sword chi intersected and formed a cross as they headed towards Shen Manjin. A slender saber appeared in Shen Manjin's hand. She unleashed the full power of her 300 years of cultivation at this moment. Her saber light shattered space as she launched an attack. The cross-shaped sword light carried the laws of nature as it surged forward. It shattered the saber technique Shen Manjin executed, forcing her to retreat 100 steps. Although Shen Manjin was slightly out of breath, she had managed to block the sword chi of this martial sage in the end. Just a praying mantis attempting to halt a carriage. Snorting disdainfully, Sima Hong immediately materialized before Shen Manjin, who had just obstructed the assault. His blade shifted and launched a series of attacks at her. Clang, clang, clang. The sound of weapons colliding reverberated through the air. Every time Sima Hong took a step forward, the entire world seemed to shift alongside him. The immeasurable power was beyond Shen Manjin's ability to withstand. No matter how formidable she was, it was an impossible feat. With each attack she received, she coughed up a mouthful of blood. Her complexion grew deathly pale. Begone. After 9 attacks, Sima Hong bellowed ferociously, and his sword burst forth with brilliance. Its potency increased, and the strike sent Shen Manjin flying. Shen Manjin was propelled like an arrow, helpless to do anything. She crashed into a mountain, causing it to explode and scatter rocks in all directions. Xiao Chen glanced at Shen Manjin, whose fate was uncertain, and his eyes turned icy. He dashed forward and launched an attack. Reappearance of the Azure Dragon. A vast sea behind Xiao Chen spewed forth 99 pillars of water into the sky as an azure dragon soared out of the water. A radiant light flickered on the saber as it ripped through space and descended upon Sima Hong's head. Sima Hong revealed a shocked expression. He had not anticipated that not only did Xiao Chen not flee, but he also dared to attack. However, as the saber light loomed over him, he had no choice but to deploy a shield of swords to defend himself. Buzz. Buzz. The sword chi hummed, and the laws of nature flowed out and intertwined, forming a resilient screen of light. Battle Sage Origins, Strength Character Formula, Amplify Might by 33 folds. Xiao Chen bellowed ferociously. He was beyond caring about the consequences. All his essence drained at that moment, and the brightness of the sword's light soared instantly, to a level where even Sima Hong found it terrifying. Boom. Before this revival of the Azure Dragon strengthened by the character formula of strength, the unbreakable sword screen containing the natural law shattered. The sword's light instantly pushed back Sima Hong. All of Sima Hong's clothes ripped, and injuries covered him from head to toe. At first glance, no part of him appeared unharmed. He was in a pitiful state. He flew backwards in the air and spewed 3 mouthfuls of blood. Unexpectedly, he pushed back a lower-ranked martial sage. Moreover, the martial sage is severely injured. The onlookers around the heaven-ascending platform exclaimed in shock. They had not dared to imagine that such a thing was possible. This was a martial sage, and the killing move of a martial monarch actually managed to push him back like this. Swoosh. Sima Hong only flew back 100 meters before he stabilized himself. Then, his wounds healed at a visible speed. A sinister expression flickered in Sima Hong's eyes. First, Xiao Chen had blocked his attack, causing him to lose face already. Now, Xiao Chen even injured him so severely in front of everyone. In fact, given Xiao Chen's strength, even after using the character formula of strength, the revival of the Azure Dragon should not have been able to truly injure Sima Hong. However, Sima Hong had made a wrong judgment, using only half his strength to defend against the revival of the Azure Dragon. He had not expected Xiao Chen to have a way to increase the power of the revival of the Azure Dragon by 33 times. As a result, Sima Hong was caught off guard and beaten up so miserably by Xiao Chen. To believe there exists such a hidden technique to instantly enhance the power of one's martial technique by 33 times. If he were an ordinary peak martial monarch, I would have been dead by now. After regaining composure, Sima Hong thought with apprehension, I must eliminate this youngster. Otherwise, I will only be leaving a future threat to grow. If he matures, he will annihilate the Sima clan. Observing Sima Hong rise once again, Xiao Chen, who was lying weakly on the ground, couldn't help but force a bitter smile. Combining Return of the Azure Dragon with the Strength character formula was already his most powerful move. Activating the Strength character formula would instantly amplify any martial technique by 33 times. The first time Xiao Chen activated the Strength character formula, Lu Ruyu's father had assisted him. At that time, Xiao Chen had activated it passively without comprehending the underlying principles. After Xiao Chen advanced to Martial Monarch, he barely managed to learn this secret technique with the help of Ao Zhao. Currently, he still wasn't very familiar with it. His quintessence was also not surging enough. Under such circumstances, it would not only deplete his quintessence but also his vital qi. Xiao Chen would need 3 to 5 days of rest to recover. As Xiao Chen watched Sima Hong approach slowly like a grim reaper, he instead calmed down. If he had the chance to choose again, he still wouldn't choose to surrender without a fight. He would rather die in battle, never bowing his head. Life was short. Why subject himself to such a miserable existence? That was not the kind of life he desired. It would be meaningless to live like that. Xiao Chen sheathed the lunar shadow saber and prevented Ao Zhao from appearing. He didn't want Ao Zhao to risk her life for him. He had promised the Thunder Emperor that she would never suffer again, even if it meant his death. When a cultivator reaches martial sage, after immersing their body in spiritual energy for a long time, their body will instantaneously transform into a sage body once they comprehend the natural laws. Martial sages cannot be judged by ordinary standards. Minor injuries can heal in a very short time. Their physical body's defense will also be several times stronger than that of a peak martial monarch. Despite Xiao Chen injuring Sima Hong, he did not harm his essence. Hence, it is pointless. Nevertheless, Xiao Chen can take pride in himself. As a martial monarch, he succeeded in hurting a martial sage. In the past millennium, he is likely the sole individual to achieve this. How unfortunate. Outside the heaven-ascending platform, the spectators displayed expressions of sympathy. At present, nobody in the Heavenly Saber Pavilion could halt Sima Hong. Xiao Chen's fate was easily predictable. Despite the distance of 1 kilometer, Sima Hong covered 100 steps to reach Xiao Chen. He gazed at the weak Xiao Chen, his face devoid of any emotion. You should feel proud to meet your end at the hands of a martial sage. Sima Hong swiftly launched an attack towards Xiao Chen's chest with lightning speed. Bang! Just as the tip of the sword was about to penetrate Xiao Chen's chest, a crimson saber chi descended from the heavens. It emitted an overwhelming aura of slaughter as it thrust towards Sima Hong. That saber chi contained a surging energy, as if the energy of thousands of individuals had merged to form it. Surprisingly, it also contained a hint of the natural order. Sensing the threat from the saber chi, Sima Hong immediately retracted his sword and retaliated with a sword light. Dang! The saber chi and sword light collided. Sima Hong took 3 steps back. When he looked up, he saw Zhang Kai leading 2,000 elite members of the Divine Saber Camp. All the members of the Divine Saber Camp wore fitted robes and wielded crimson sabers. Their eyes were icy cold as they stared at Sima Hong without fear. They exuded an overwhelming aura of slaughter. Under Zhang Qi's guidance, the 2,000 individuals formed the heavenly profound blood-slaughtering formation in midair. Their auras were interconnected, forming a vast aura. These 2,000 individuals had collaborated to create the earlier saber chi. They had genuinely pushed Sima Hong back for the first time, causing him to take 3 steps back. Zhang Kai declared, "Sima Hong, depart from this place immediately, and the Heavenly Saber Pavilion will treat it as if nothing occurred. Otherwise, even if the Heavenly Saber Pavilion collapses, we will hold you accountable." Sima Hong sneered, "Fool, a mere insignificant Heavenly Saber Pavilion and you believe you can make me suffer. Today, I will demonstrate the true might of a martial sage." Crash! Sima Hong stomped on the ground and swiftly approached Zhang Kai. With each swing of his sword, he released a thread of sword energy. Each strike contained the essence of natural law. The 2,000 disciples of the Divine Saber Camp simultaneously unsheathed their sabers. Utilizing their formation, they concentrated all their strength on Zhang Kai. Zhang Kai did his utmost to defend. However, in the face of Sima Hong's full power and the immense natural law, the disparity was evident. Clang! 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 Sima Hong's gaze remained calm as he unleashed various attacks. His speed grew increasingly rapid and forceful, compelling Zhang Kai to continuously retreat in midair. The heavenly profound blood-slaughtering formation established by the 2,000 elites could not truly obstruct Sima Hong. Just a worthless formation, yet you have the audacity to act so insolently. Shatter! Sima Hong lost all patience. He converged all the sword lights and launched an assault. Zhang Qi's saber technique shattered, and his saber went soaring. Upon impact with Zhang Qi's body, all the accumulated injuries from earlier erupted all at once. He spewed a large mouthful of blood and weakly plummeted from the sky. By then, the 2,000 disciples of the Divine Saber Camp, who were channeling their energy to Zhang Kai, could no longer endure. They all vomited mouthfuls of blood and fell to the ground like rain. After breaking through the heavenly profound blood-slaughtering formation, Sima Hong landed on the ground once again and made his way towards Xiao Chen, emanating an overwhelming intent to kill. Battle until the very end. The Supreme Elders, who were afraid of Sima Hong's power, witnessed Zhang Kai and the 2,000 disciples falling miserably from the sky. Those Supreme Elders' eyes filled with animosity as they unleashed their most powerful attacks, sending out vibrant saber lights and chopping down at Sima Hong from above. Sima Hong displayed a contemptuous smile and said, "No matter how many insects there are, it is futile." Clang! 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 Sword light shimmered, but Sima Hong never ceased his movement. He didn't even pause to address these attacks. He simply countered as he took a step forward. Sima Hong annihilated those Supreme Elders with a single strike, shattering all the different martial techniques they had dedicated their whole lives to. He sent all the Heavenly Saber Pavilion Supreme Elders flying like sandbags. They couldn't even fight back. This is the power of a martial sage. It's too terrifying. They truly deserve to be at the pinnacle of the Tianwu continent. Even an entire sect's full strength can't stop him. The Heavenly Saber Pavilion will most likely be obliterated. The cultivators who came to observe couldn't help but feel some satisfaction at the misfortune of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion. The rise of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion was not beneficial to them. Halt him. We mustn't let him kill senior brother Xiao Chen. The Heavenly Saber Pavilion disciples gathered around the heaven ascending platform charged forward with fervent determination when they saw Sima Hong getting closer to Xiao Chen. Those disciples could no longer hold back as they continuously threw themselves at Sima Hong, all in an effort to delay him, attempting to assist Xiao Chen in fighting for a chance at survival. "How dare you obstruct my path? None of you are even as powerful as insects." Sima Hong displayed an impatient expression. He didn't even bother to swing his sword, he simply waved his left hand. Gusts of wind blew from all directions, creating a strong current that sent the disciples of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion flying a kilometer away. As Sima Hong approached Xiao Chen, the sound of footsteps grew louder. He looked at Xiao Chen and said, "I never make empty boasts. Now you understand the consequences of your decisions." Xiao Chen's face remained pale and expressionless. He coldly replied, "If I survive, I will surely seek revenge on the Sima clan, bathing them in their own blood." "Ha ha, who can save you?" When Sima Hong heard Xiao Chen's words, he found it amusing. He laughed loudly. "Who would dare to defy a martial sage just to save you? Even on your deathbed, you are still foolish. Well, you can try to destroy my Sima clan in the afterlife." Arrogant. At that moment, a disdainful snort came from the distance. The voice sounded far away, but it felt as if someone was whispering in the ear. These two contrasting impressions merged together. Sima Hong's expression changed dramatically. Sensing a dangerous aura, he quickly turned to look. However, before Sima Hong could react, a wooden box appeared as if it had traversed through space and crashed into Sima Hong. Splatter. The wooden box contained an unmatched force. Sima Hong coughed up a mouthful of blood as the wooden box sent him flying backwards. With a whoosh, it landed in front of Xiao Chen. The words, "As if the Emperor himself has arrived," were written on the front of the wooden box. No one dared to underestimate it. Sima Hong wiped the blood from his lips and shouted angrily, "You're just putting on a show. There hasn't been a martial emperor in the Tianwu continent for a long time. Die." After Sima Hong spoke, he launched himself at Xiao Chen with an even more ferocious aura. Crack, crack. The four planks of the wooden box fell off, revealing a simple saber floating silently in the air. The sword emitted a terrifying presence that appeared capable of upturning mountains and oceans. In the face of this presence, Sima Hong was like a drop of water in the sea, completely insignificant. This presence was as expansive as the ocean and as immense as the mountains. When Sima Hong collided with this presence, he was thrown back in a miserable manner. He then tumbled on the ground several times before coming to a stop. Sacred weapon. An expression of terror filled Sima Hong's face as he remembered something. Without uttering another word, he picked up the unconscious Sima Lingshan and fled without looking back. "Approach, sword." An elderly voice echoed. Everyone looked up and saw a gray-robed old man flying over. He waved his hand, and that sacred weapon emerged from its scabbard. The sacred weapon of the Heavenly Sword Pavilion, which had remained sheathed for many years, finally saw the light of day once more. While hovering in the air, the gray-robed old man extended his hand and tightly gripped the sacred weapon, Heavenly Cosmos Sword. In that moment, everything beneath the sky seemed insignificant. Usually, if a martial sage wanted to escape from another martial sage of the same level, the pursuer would have difficulty catching up. At this moment, Sima Hong had already flown several kilometers while carrying Sima Lingshan. To the spectators, the two appeared as a small dot in the far-off sky. The crowd couldn't even discern the direction they were heading in. The old man held the sacred weapon and launched an attack towards Sima Hong. The sacred weapon immediately radiated a brilliant light, even overshadowing the sun. Then, everyone witnessed an unimaginable scene. Night suddenly descended, and countless stars twinkled in the sky. The limitless cosmos unfolded like a painting in this moment. In the eyes of ordinary people, the brightest sun was nothing more than one of the stars above. When compared to the vast universe, it was utterly insignificant, absolutely tiny. Only the radiance of the holy sword was eternal. In this moment, the elderly man dressed in gray, who possessed the holy sword, became the focal point of this universe, of this sky dome realm. Whoosh! A pained cry reverberated, and the radiance vanished. All the mystical phenomena disappeared, and the scorching sun in the sky reappeared. However, the grand scene that shook everyone left an indelible mark in their hearts in that instant. On the horizon, everyone could see the speck of black that was Sima Hong plummeting to the ground like a tattered kite. The saber energy of the holy sword had gravely wounded him from kilometers away. Return! The elderly man in gray robes shouted, opening his left hand. His palm contained the natural order as it generated an irresistible suction force. A terrifying whirlwind formed in the air and sucked in Sima Hong, who was several kilometers away. He was unable to control his blood-soaked body. Boom! A dull thud resounded, and both Sima Hong and Sima Lingshan fell onto the heaven-ascending platform. Sima Hong knelt on one knee before the immense power of the holy sword. His injured body couldn't help but tremble. A horrifying wound, gushing with blood, was visible on his chest. When Zhang Kai and the other elders below saw the arrival of the elderly man, they became extremely excited. However, due to the power emanating from the holy sword, they couldn't approach to speak with him. Crack! The elderly man casually waved his hand, and the holy sword returned to its sheath. The wooden box immediately reassembled itself and floated quietly in front of Xiao Chen. Released suddenly from the aura, Sima Hong fell heavily to the ground, unable to move. The figure of the elderly man flashed and appeared beside Sima Hong. Do you think you can escape like that after injuring so many disciples of my heavenly saber pavilion? Sima Hong stood up, hunched over. He said doubtfully, Leng Tianhe, you only possess the power of the divine weapon. What skills do you have? If you were truly capable, you would have become the pavilion master back then. So, it's him. Surprisingly, the younger brother of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion's pavilion master has returned. 40 years ago, you fought with your older brother for the position of pavilion master and lost. In a fit of anger, you left back then. It's surprising that after 40 years of absence, you have reached the level of martial sage. Upon hearing Sima Hong's words, everyone was shocked. They all guessed the identity of the old man in the gray robe. 40 years ago, when the Heavenly Saber Pavilion was thriving, two exceptional geniuses emerged at the same time. Moreover, they were brothers. Unfortunately, there can't be two leaders. Leng Tianhe lost to his older brother and had to give up on the position of pavilion master. After that, he left the Heavenly Saber Pavilion. However, 20 years ago, all the talented individuals of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion perished in a demonic calamity. Even the pavilion master died. Since then, the entire Heavenly Saber Pavilion has been in decline. Otherwise, Sima Hong wouldn't have dared to come here alone and declare that he would destroy the Heavenly Saber Pavilion. Now, at the most crucial moment for the Heavenly Saber Pavilion, Leng Tianhe finally returned. Using the divine weapon, he defeated Sima Hong with a single strike. When Leng Tianhe heard Sima Hong's words, he snorted disdainfully and said, "Fool, even if your father were here, he wouldn't dare utter such words. Junior brother Zhang, send someone to hang him at the entrance of Saber City. We will wait for the Sima clan to come and collect him. The Sima clan will pay 100 times for all the damages to the Heavenly Saber Pavilion." Unbelievably, a true martial sage, the pinnacle of this world, was going to be hanged at the city entrance. The mere thought of it made everyone's head spin. Sima Hong stood up and lunged at the old man in the gray robe, shouting angrily, "Leng Tianhe, how dare you? Why not?" Leng Tianhe kicked and sent Sima Hong flying back. Filled with tremendous power, his right leg scattered the remnants of Sima Hong's essence. When Zhang Kai and the other elders heard Leng Tianhe's words, they quickly ordered people to capture Sima Hong and lock him up. Leng Tianhe looked up and glanced at the other cultivators who had come over to watch. They immediately came to their senses and quickly fled the place. Normally, this area was forbidden to outsiders. With the issue now resolved, if they still did not leave, they would be in serious trouble. Seeing that these people still had some sense, Leng Tianhe looked away and ignored them. Zhang Kai and the others rushed over and said respectfully, "Junior brother Leng, fortunately, you managed to arrive in time. Otherwise, the Heavenly Saber Pavilion would have been destroyed." Leng Tianhe replied, "There is no need to say more. Although I have left the Heavenly Saber Pavilion, I will never sit back and watch the Heavenly Saber Pavilion's destruction." Raising his hand to stop Zhang Kai and the others from saying anything more, Leng Tianhe turned his head to look at Xiao Chen, who was already standing up. Interest appeared in his eyes. Xiao Chen performed a cupped fist salute and said, "Many thanks to Senior for helping." Leng Tianhe smiled faintly and said, "You saved yourself. You were able to resist the temptation of the divine weapon and deliver it to me. You planted this seed back then. If the divine weapon did not warn me today, I would not have rushed over. This is the result of that seed." If you had abandoned the Heavenly Saber Pavilion and joined the Supreme Sky Sect, Sima Hong would not have the audacity to play such tricks. Ultimately, it is the Heavenly Saber Pavilion that is holding you back. However, this will never occur again. I will make it up to you for what happened today. When the surrounding elders heard Leng Tianhe's words, they realized that he intended to remain and support the Heavenly Saber Pavilion. They couldn't help but show excited and joyful expressions. With this, the Heavenly Saber Pavilion now had a martial sage defending it. Moreover, he could wield the divine weapon. No one in the Sky Dome realm would dare to underestimate the Heavenly Saber Pavilion in the future. Afterwards, Sima Hong and Sima Lingshan had their powers sealed and were hung at the entrance of Saber City. The disturbance caused by Xiao Chen and Sima Lingshan's battle was now over. The powerful Sima Hong, with his fierce presence, lost all his reputation. He couldn't gain any sympathy from others. On the morning of the second day, the Supreme Sky Sect's Old Feng arrived at Saber City. When he saw Sima Hong hanging at the gates, he smiled slightly and didn't even enter the mountain before leaving. In truth, Old Feng wasn't particularly worried about Xiao Chen. As a king-grade true dragon prodigy, he possessed great fortune. It would be very difficult for others to kill him in the Sky Dome realm. Various mysterious events would occur, as if Xiao Chen received special attention from heaven, ensuring his safety. The outcome was not far from Old Feng's expectations. Sima Hong hanging at the gates of Saber City was the best evidence. Who could have imagined that when a martial sage made a move against a martial monarch, he would end up in such a state, becoming the laughingstock of the world? However, this unimaginable event indeed happened before everyone's eyes. In the Sky Dome realm, Xiao Chen would not easily meet his demise since he possessed the Sky Dome realm's fortune. Only when he arrived in the Kunlun realm, where there were many geniuses with great fortune as well, might Xiao Chen face mortal danger. 10 days later, the retired clan head of the Sima clan personally brought 200,000 superior grade spirit stones as an apology before taking back Sima Hong and Sima Lingshan. Given that the Sima clan was at fault initially and with the presence of Leng Tianhe, who possessed the divine weapon, even if the retired clan head of the Sima clan had any dissatisfaction, he would not dare voice it. Otherwise, if Leng Tianhe desired to eliminate Sima Hong and Sima Lingshan, the retired clan head of the Sima clan would be powerless. The retired clan head knew the importance of 200,000 superior grade spirit stones compared to a martial sage. Leng Tianhe used half of the 200,000 superior grade spirit stones to rebuild the heaven ascending platform and reward the disciples as well as treat the wounded. Then, Leng Tianhe gave Xiao Chen the remaining 100,000 superior grade spirit stones. Moreover, he kept his promise and gave Xiao Chen 100 inferior grade spirit gathering pearls that he personally refined. In comparison to superior grade spirit stones, the spirit gathering pearls were more effective. They possessed abundant spiritual energy and were exceptionally pure. Now, Xiao Chen had 200 inferior grade spirit gathering pearls. If he used them for regular cultivation, they would not be enough. They would be depleted within a few days. Xiao Chen planned to use the spirit gathering pearls for breakthroughs or emergencies, such as when his quintessence was depleted. Having the spirit gathering pearls would make things easier. After the battle with Sima Hong, Xiao Chen felt a sense of danger in his heart. He was still too weak in the face of a martial sage. In the future, when Xiao Chen went to the Kunlun realm, his luck would not have such a strong impact. He could not rely on others to come and rescue him. He had to possess his own hidden cards. A martial sage's body was already a sage body. If the core was not truly damaged, it would be difficult to inflict any lasting harm on a martial sage. For now, Xiao Chen gave up on inflicting severe injuries on a martial sage. Such a goal was unrealistic. His objective was to be able to escape from a martial sage and at least protect himself. At this moment, all Xiao Chen could do was rapidly elevate his Azure Dragon Cloud soaring art to great perfection, to see if he could escape from a martial sage. If the other prodigies of the same generation knew what Xiao Chen was pondering, they would all be astounded. They were all still contemplating how to break through to martial monarch or how to handle a medial grade martial monarch. Xiao Chen, on the other hand, had his sights set on martial sage, a level far beyond them, leaving them in the dust. There was a cascade in the rear mountains of Qingyan Peak. Below the cascade was a lake approximately 6 kilometers wide. Previously, Xiao Chen had perfected his cultivation of the dragon and tiger body sculpting art here. The azure dragon was attuned to water. It would undoubtedly be more efficient for Xiao Chen to practice the azure dragon cloud soaring art at this lake. As Xiao Chen trained, time flew by at an incredible pace. He might look up and see dawn, then, when he looked up again, it might already be sunset. The days passed swiftly. Xiao Chen spent his days alone at this lake. It was tranquil here except for the ceaseless rush of the cascade. However, no matter how lonesome it was, Xiao Chen had to endure it. In his encounter with Sima Hong, Xiao Chen had endured too much. He had even come close to death. If he wanted to avoid such a situation from happening again, he had to endure it all. 9 transformations of the roaming dragon. Xiao Chen shouted, and a dragon's roar reverberated in his chest. His figure flickered, and immediately, 9 identical figures appeared. Compared to the previous 9 transformations of the roaming dragon, there didn't appear to be any differences. However, upon closer observation, one would discover that each clone had an ethereal dragon surrounding it. The duplicates also appeared more lifelike. Not only did they possess flesh and blood, but they also appeared to possess vitality. Their expressions were not dull like previously. Of all the techniques within the Azure Dragon Cloud Soaring art, Wandering Dragon's 9 transformations was Xiao Chen's preferred. He could utilize this maneuver to advance or retreat. He could attack and employ this technique to deceive his opponent. When he fled, others would struggle to discern which was him. However, it was insufficient for use against a martial sage. Xiao Chen shook his head slightly. The 9 figures merged, and a dragon roar echoed behind him, causing a column of water to shoot up into the sky. Azure Dragon Tail Whip. A powerful gust blew, and Xiao Chen's body appeared to transform into a dragon tail. He moved in a lengthy curve over the water. As his figure flickered, he left behind a crescent-shaped pillar of water. In one breath, Xiao Chen traveled 5 kilometers. Everywhere he passed, the powerful wind stirred up towering waves. Only after Xiao Chen stood firmly did the lake water descend back down. After entering deep contemplation, he murmured to himself, the explosive velocity of Azure Dragon Tail Whip could nearly rival Sima Hong's speed already. However, explosive velocity is insufficient. The most crucial thing is to enhance my fundamental speed. Time flew by. Xiao Chen spent a total of 2 months on this lake, practicing the Azure Dragon Cloud Soaring art at every opportunity. He felt that he was not far from reaching great perfection. Now, when he circulated the Azure Dragon Cloud Soaring art, he could maintain a visualization of the Azure Dragon beneath him as he moved. It was not like before, where the Azure Dragon would only last for a short time, flickering on and off. His velocity increased by 20%, but it was still far from what he desired. According to the confidential manual, after the Azure Dragon Cloud Soaring art reaches great perfection, it can manifest 2 Azure Dragons and assist the cultivator in flying. If practiced to its pinnacle, it can manifest 18 Azure Dragons. Xiao Chen's expression darkened slightly. He felt some frustration in his heart. He had already spent 2 months, yet he had only taken a small step towards his goal of being able to escape from an inferior grade martial sage. He was still far from achieving that. He pushed off forcefully against the water. 18 pillars of water immediately burst out of the serene lake and soared into the sky. When the water descended, Xiao Chen closed his eyes and allowed it to wet his clothes. Then, he slowly recovered from his slight frustration. Senior brother Xiao Chen, I have already gathered all the spirit herbs that you requested. Just at this moment, Xiao Chen heard a melodious voice. Jade Maiden Peak's Chu Xinyan had arrived. Xiao Chen opened his eyes and circulated his essence. Vapor rose from his body, and his clothes dried immediately. Smiling subtly, Xiao Chen arrived before Chu Xinyan. 2 months ago, he had requested Chu Xinyan's assistance in gathering ingredients for the countenance halting pill. Jade Maiden Peak lacked several of the spirit herbs he needed. As Xiao Chen did not have much time available, he could only seek help from someone. Coincidentally, Xiao Chen had encountered a small obstacle in his practice of the Azure Dragon Cloud Soaring art. He needed to put it aside and focus on something else. Now, He could utilize this time to refine the countenance-halting pill. Chu Xinyan handed Xiao Chen a dimensional ring, saying, "I have already collected all 99 spirit herbs you required. They are all in the dimensional ring. Please verify them to ensure their accuracy." Xiao Chen accepted the dimensional ring and checked its contents. After confirming that nothing was missing, he said happily, "Thank you very much, junior sister Chu. You have aided me greatly." Chu Xinyan smiled subtly and said with envy, "If I'm not mistaken, you should be refining the countenance-halting pill. Considering it can preserve a woman's appearance for 1,000 years, senior sister Ruyu is truly fortunate." In contrast to men, women paid more attention to their appearance. They dreaded the relentless passage of time that caused their youthfulness to fade. Being able to maintain their beauty for 1,000 years was undoubtedly a dream for every woman. Naturally, Chu Xinyan was no different. However, she knew these 99 ingredients were expensive. Furthermore, the pill was probably not easy to make. Wishing Xiao Chen would help her make one would be an extravagant hope. "I'll not interrupt your cultivation any longer. I'll take my leave first." Chu Xinyan stopped thinking about that matter and prepared to leave. Xiao Chen called out to stop her, "Wait a moment. This is the alchemical recipe for the countenance-halting pill. In the future, when you have time, you can make it yourself." Xiao Chen could tell what Chu Xinyan was thinking. However, some ingredients were seasonal. He would be leaving in a few months, so he could not help her make the pill. Hence, he gave her the alchemical recipe. Chu Xinyan stared at Xiao Chen in disbelief. The alchemical recipe for the countenance-halting pill was valuable. It would not be an exaggeration to say it was priceless, yet he just casually gave it to her. Xiao Chen handed the alchemical recipe to Chu Xinyan and immediately returned to his dwelling to prepare to make the countenance-halting pill. He arranged the 99 spirit herbs on the wooden table and counted them. Finally, he took out the Azure Dragon medicine cauldron. Looking at the Azure Dragon medicine cauldron with its overwhelming spiritual energy, Xiao Chen became slightly distracted. The image of a beautiful girl who liked to crossdress appeared in his mind. "I wonder how she is doing now. I am already about to leave the Sky Dome realm. After I make the countenance-halting pill, I should visit the imperial capital." Xiao Chen muttered to himself and collected his thoughts. He still owed Feng Feishui a favor. If he had a chance, it would be best that he dealt with it before he left. Dong, dong, dong. Just as Xiao Chen was about to start making the medicinal pill, the sound of knocking interrupted him. Who can it be at this time? Xiao Chen remembered instructing Lu Sufeng not to let anyone come and disturb him. He swept his hand across the table and put away all the spirit herbs and the Azure Dragon medicine cauldron. Then, he went over to the door. A scent invaded Xiao Chen's nostrils, and then he spotted a girl in a crimson dress standing in the doorway. This girl was stunning enough to overthrow a kingdom. He stood there, astonished for a moment, before grinning. What brought Princess Ying Yue here? This individual was the immensely popular Princess Ying Yue. She spoke softly, "Just because you became the victor of the True Dragon ranking, you now dare to address me with such rudeness." Xiao Chen smiled slightly and responded, "I don't dare to. One doesn't pay a visit to a temple without a reason. What do you require, princess? Just tell me directly." TL note. One doesn't pay a visit to a temple without a reason. The meaning of this should be quite straightforward. It usually refers to someone who normally would not come for a visit unless they needed help. Ying Yue immediately stopped smiling and said resentfully, "Do you still recall the promise you made with Feng Feishui?" The startled Xiao Chen nodded and said, "Certainly, I remember. I made the promise to her when she bestowed the Azure Dragon cloud soaring art upon me outside Mohe City." Ying Yue said, "She is in trouble. Her relatives are keeping her confined to her home." Xiao Chen furrowed his brows and asked, "Confinement? Why?" Feng Feishui oversaw most of the Feng clan's enterprises. She held considerable influence within the Feng clan, so how could she have been subjected to confinement? Ying Yue took a moment to gather her thoughts before saying, "The Feng clan controls the second-ranking merchant association in the world. The first is the Wanlong Merchant Association. Are you aware of that?" Xiao Chen nodded to indicate his understanding. There were 5 prominent merchant associations in the world. The foremost was the Wanlong Merchant Association of the Great Jin Nation. They possessed significant power. Xiao Chen had witnessed this himself in Dragon Sealing City. The Wan clan managed all the businesses in Dragon Sealing City, except for the ignorant about TT House. Although Dragon Sealing City opened for only 1 month, the millions of cultivators who qualified to enter were powerful cultivators in the continent. They definitely would not lack spiritual stones. Just this 1 month of business earned the Wan clan a huge profit. Xiao Chen had also heard some news about the Wanlong Merchant Association from Jin Dabao. They were a formidable faction. The Wan clan had accumulated a vast fortune. However, there had not been any stories of anyone attempting to rob the Wan clan, which would be impossible without strength and some secret weapons. Otherwise, such a plump sheep would have been devoured by some powerful sects and martial sages. Ying Yue continued, 4 years ago, the Wan clan's young master fell in love with Feng Feishui at first sight. So, he got the Wan clan elders to propose to Feng Feishui. TL note. In traditional Chinese culture, a proposal is made by the male's parents or elders to the female's parents or elders. They are the ones who have the rights to decide whether to accept or not. In some variants, the male can make the proposal himself, but it will always be to the parents or elders of the female. The Wan clan is much stronger than the Feng clan. If the Feng clan offended the Wan clan, they would face difficulties conducting business. Furthermore, there were many people in the upper echelons of the Feng clan who wanted to use this opportunity to establish connections with the Wan clan. So they agreed to this marriage. 4 years ago, Xiao Chen recalled some matters of the past. It seemed like the first time he met Feng Feishui in Mohe City was 4 years ago. Could it be that Feng Feishui had come to Mohe City then because of this matter? Did she foresee such a day long ago? Xiao Chen remained silent for a long time before asking, Princess Ying Yue, what exactly is the relationship between Mohe City's Xiao clan and the Feng clan? Given Ying Yue and Feng Feishui's friendship, plus the information network of the Great Qin Nation's royal court, Ying Yue should know the answer to this. Xiao Chen had always harbored some suspicions about this. Finally, he could no longer resist his curiosity. Ying Yue displayed a shocked expression. She exclaimed, Did your father never inform you? Xiao Chen shook his head in response. Ying Yue said, Then I cannot disclose it to you. What I want to know now is, will you uphold the promise you made? To take on the responsibility of stopping this marriage. Shouldering this responsibility meant becoming adversaries with the most powerful trading association in the Tianwu continent. Xiao Chen might be formidable at present, but if he were to confront such a formidable faction, it would be akin to throwing an egg at a stone. Xiao Chen didn't take long to make a decision. He calmly replied, Since she asked, naturally, I will exert my utmost effort to assist. Ying Yue smiled softly and said, Feng Feishui didn't misjudge you. Your words just now were worth her enduring such bitterness for 4 years. I need to make some preparations before I can accompany you to the imperial capital. Nodding, Ying Yue said, Then I will wait for you at Saber City. Feng Feishui's father is also there. The crucial point is that the old man from the Feng clan just passed away. Her father can no longer contain the situation. Otherwise, she would be able to prolong this further. I understand. After Ying Yue departed, Xiao Chen sat down in front of a small tree in the courtyard. He retrieved 2 tokens from the universe ring and toyed with them in his hands. His gaze appeared contemplative. Of the 2 tokens, one was the Clear Sky token from the Supreme Sky Sect, and the other was the Heavenly Fiend token from the Myriad Fiend Palace. Either one granted him the ability to request assistance from a martial sage during a critical moment. With the assistance of 2 martial sages, Xiao Chen would not need to fear any major factions in the Tianwu continent. Martial sages occupied the highest position on this continent. They were not individuals any sect could afford to provoke. It is highly unlikely that they can aid me in dealing with the Wan clan. However, they should be capable of guaranteeing my survival. The 2 emblems hovered in front of Xiao Chen as he made his decision. Ultimately, he stored away the Clear Sky emblem and tightly grasped the Heavenly Fiend emblem with his right hand. It was most appropriate for Xiao Chen to reserve the Clear Sky emblem for the Kunlun realm. After all, the Wan clan was merely a trading clan. A single martial sage should be able to protect him. Propelling himself off the ground, Xiao Chen wrote an image of an azure dragon, soaring up and down in the sky. He swiftly flew towards the ancient desolate land at a speed that far exceeded martial monarchs of the same level. 10 days later, Xiao Chen arrived at the location of the Myriad Fiend Palace in the Heavenly Extermination Lake. After he presented the Heavenly Fiend emblem, and Zishuan, Xiao Bai's father, came out to meet him. After Xiao Chen explained his purpose for coming, and Zishuan accepted the Heavenly Fiend emblem and smiled faintly. I was starting to think that you would never utilize this Heavenly Fiend emblem. Xiao Chen asked uncertainly, Senior, may I know if you would agree to my request? And Zishuan carefully stored away the emblem and softly said, although the Wan clan is powerful, they are ultimately just businessmen. I can still ensure your safety. However, I have something that I need your assistance with. Xiao Chen cupped his fists and said, please, do tell me what is on your mind. If this junior is capable, I will do my utmost to help.